Cheers. Whew. Well, howdy, Vikings fans. It's been a minute. Ooh, it has definitely been a minute. I mean, to be fair, this offseason, other than, Dalvin Cook getting released and, well, a potential NFL running back strike, I guess, for lack of a better term, but again, that'll be a different, topic for a different day if that ever gets to that point or whatever the case might be, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if something like that happens just because, well, let's be honest here. The devaluation of the running back position has been quite crazy to see over the last few years, even though the running back position is probably one of the most physically taxing positions in all of football. Other than maybe an offensive lineman or, stuff like that, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see there. But the reason why I am coming back and, well, kind of dropping this video here, well, two reasons. But the main reason being, Vikings have new uniforms. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Minnesota Vikings have officially released a third uniform for this year, and in fact, it'll be worn week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, yeah. And basically, if you couldn't tell, hint, 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 hint. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the throwbacks are coming back. Week 1 against Tampa Bay, we finally get the return of these bad boys. And boy, am I excited. And yes, before you say anything, I will be getting one of these jerseys. Now, when will I be getting one of these jerseys? I'm not 100% sure because the Vikings PR and Vikings media and stuff like that was very quiet, to say the least, about this. I mean, I kind of heard rumblings and rumors from, Jersey Watch, Uni Watch, and, various jersey collectors who kind of, watch those sites and stuff like that, but considering I never really saw anything from the official Vikings social medias, like whether that be the Vikings themselves or, insiders with the Vikings or anything like that, but boy, oh boy, am I glad to see these bad boys coming back. So yeah, I mean, like I say, that is part 1 of this video, and in my opinion, a very important part, because again, as Vikings fans, how many years now have we been clamoring for the Vikings to bring these back? With the stripe pattern and everything, and I'm so glad they did. But now, on to, well, the second main part of this video. Welcome back, Vikings fans. We're officially a weekish away from training camp. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are about a week away from full-blown training camp. And all I can say is thank the Lord. Feels like these off seasons get longer and longer, but in reality, they really don't. If anything, it feels like time actually gets shorter. But that's a different video for a different day in and of itself. So, yeah. But yeah, like I say, rookies report back on the 23rd, if I remember right, and the veterans go back on the 25th, which, again, only about a week away now from full training camps coming back. And boy, oh boy, do I have a few things that I am very curious and very interested to see. Year number 2 of Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adelfo Mensa. Wow, that is a tongue twister of a name. KOC, we'll just say. KOC and Kwesi, year 2. Full year under the belt, draft picks and all that stuff. And, yeah, I mean, I'll see how guys like Jordan Addison fit into this scheme. No more Adam Thielen, so who's going to be that number 2 receiver next to Jay Jettas and all that stuff. Plus, could we see some more Jalen Naylor maybe? Will Jalen Reagor even make the roster going into next year? Who knows? I mean, there's going to be a few interesting positions there. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is the topic of the town over his, quarterback series and stuff like that. And while I haven't had a chance to really watch any of it per se, I have seen clips and stuff like that. But, I mean, again, Kirk Cousins is always going to be a hot button topic amongst Vikings fans and amongst the NFL media fans and, well, just NFL in general. But he gets a lot of crap. Like, just in general, for, really no reason. I mean, am I saying he's Patrick Mahomes? No. Am I saying he's Josh Allen? No. Am I saying he's Joe Burrow? No. But am I saying he's a dog crap quarterback? Also, no. I mean, there's probably plenty of teams who would kill to have a Kirk Cousins right now. I mean, anyway, like I say, that's a different topic for a different day there. But also kind of a topic that should be discussed going into training camp because, again, Kirk Cousins will have, other than Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, will have a few different receivers and a few different weapons to, kind of get accustomed to him, a la Jordan Addison. And another intriguing, I guess tight end or just player in general will be Josh Oliver. Because, again, he's more of a blocking, bigger guy that I think we were kind of hoping Irv Smith Jr. could be sort of like that Kyle Rudolph-esque guy, but just Irv could never, quite get things going around here. Whether it be due to injuries or just, other various things throughout the organization and coaching staff and stuff like that. But it is what it is, I wish him nothing but the best in Cincinnati. I mean, if there's anyone who could probably get him going, it would be Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and those boys. So, yeah. And now, on to the defensive side of things, too. That's going to be very intriguing to watch going into training camp as well, and into the preseason because, well, let's be honest here, most of the veteran core that was here is no longer here. And there's even a potential another one who might not be here come week 1. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter is sort of still the big wild card in this one because there's rumors that he could potentially be gone and he could potentially be traded away or might not show up for training camp or this or that. And again, that'll be up to Kwesi to make up that, and just kind of do what he feels he needs to do there because that's one thing to give credit for Kwesi. He's not afraid to get rid of guys who might have been here a long time or, try to get the team better and a little more modern, I guess, for lack of a better term. But, yeah, I mean, like I say, jettisoning Thielen, jettisoning Cook. So that's also going to be another intriguing thing with, Alexander Madison, Ty Chandler, and Kenne. Are they going to be the three-headed horsemen, basically? Are we going to add a little C.J. Ham in there? Dwayne McBride, is he going to be there? Could we still potentially go out and maybe get one of these older, veteran running backs? Because it sounds like there's still a ton of guys out there, including Dalvin, who could probably be plucked up for, injuries and stuff like that here, which I have a feeling some of these veterans who still aren't signed, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Whether it be injuries in training camp, injuries in preseason, whatever the case might be, that's where you'll see a lot more of these guys get picked up. But yeah, anyway, kind of quickly going back to the defensive side of things here. Brian Flores. Can he work his magic? Because our defense is going to be young. I mean, outside of guys like Byron Murphy Jr., Josh Metellus, Jordan Hicks, and guys like that, Harrison Smith being the elder statesman, who's going to be that guy? Will Lewis Seen step up? Will some of our other younger cornerbacks step up? Or are we going out there and maybe finding another cheap veteran who can kind of help click in, basically, So, but again, as much as Vikings fans might be a little nervous about this and stuff like that, remember how bad our defense was these last few years. I mean, Plus, we actually have a proven defensive guy who's turned around defenses before. Just ask Miami here about 5 years ago. I mean, they went from one of the worst teams in the league to a playoff contender, and their defense went from, like, bottom in the league to, like, the top 10 in just, like, 3 seasons. So, who knows? I mean, we don't even necessarily have to be, like, a top 10 or top 5 defense. If we can even get middle of the road while still having a very, very, very good top 5 offense, I think we'll be fine. And all that stuff. And then also real quick too, special teams. To be fair though, as Vikings fans, when isn't special teams a topic? Whew. But again, sounds like we're going to have the same 3 horsemen back in DePaula, Joseph, and why can I not think of our punter's name right now? Anyway, pretty much it's going to be the same 3 fellas that are going to be taking over again here. And, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see here. So, but yeah, it's official. We're back to football season, so expect more videos in the upcoming weeks and stuff like that with the Vikings, and also stay tuned as well because I do have a few more NHL jerseys coming within, I'd say, in the next few days or so. And all that stuff, but we're back, Minnesota Vikings fans. Get ready for another interesting season because, well, the NFC North is going to be a very intriguing division to watch because the Bears are probably still a couple years away, but they have improved. The Lions are everyone's darling in the NFC North, but we usually know how that ends between the Lions and the Vikings. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the Lions have to prove it to me. I'm not even trying to take a cheap shot there. It's just one of those things where we've heard certain teams saying, oh, they're going to be much improved. They're going to take over the division, and they finish 5-12. So, granted, the Lions aren't going to finish 5-12. It's going to be closer to like 10-7. Basically, I'm going to say they're going to finish like 10-7 this year, 9-8, kind of around where they did last year, maybe a game or 2 more. But yeah, Dan Campbell definitely has those boys believing, and, well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And the Packers, I just have, like, 3 words. I don't know. Literally, I don't know. I mean, they could be a dumpster fire train wreck, or they could be one of the sleeper teams of 2023, because, again, Jordan Love has literally played 3 games in, like, 3 seasons. They still have a lot of young receivers like Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. That's going to be interesting to see. Their defense. Yet again, they pick up another defensive lineman in the first round, but I digress. Yeah, their defense will probably fall apart by like week 10 because it always does. There's just certain things about the NFC North that are basically like clockwork. But anyway, but we did it. We're back to football, baby. Oh, boy, it'll be nice to actually start talking some Vikings again. I'm not going to lie. Let's just hope that the Vikings, improve off of what they did last year. And even if that necessarily is an 11-6 type of season, I'd much rather have that, just more consistency than a 13-4. Wait, how the hell did we do that? So, until we meet again, this is Jacob. Skol.